Hey, church fam, we are going to be continuing our series, Little Books, Big Messages, this coming Sunday, July 5th, with the letter to Titus. This letter was written by the Apostle Paul around the mid-60s AD to his co-worker Titus. Now, a little history here. Around AD 30, Acts 2 notes that there were people from the island of Crete, which is located south of Greece, there at Pentecost. And it's likely that these initial Jewish converts traveled back to Crete and formed the earliest unorganized Christian community there on the island. Then Paul and Titus visited Crete around AD 62-64, so 30 plus years later, just after Paul was released from his first Roman imprisonment. And they spent some time, a few weeks or a few months, traveling across Crete, preaching and establishing the local congregations. But Paul had to leave the island, it seems rather abruptly, and so he left Titus behind to, as Titus 1:5 says, set right what was left undone. And it seems like the major work left to do involved refuting false teaching that was going on there. The descriptions that we see of the elders and of proper Christian living seem to be worded for an intentional contrast with those false teachers. We don't know the content of the false teaching, but it appears to have a significant Jewish element to it. The opponents are from the circumcision party. They're interested in Jewish myths and ritual purity. And the false teaching would have been actually welcomed on the island of Crete, which was known in the ancient world for immorality. And the main point that Paul makes in this letter is that while those teachers taught ritual purity, they lived in a way that proved they did not know God. See, Paul expected the gospel to produce real godliness in the everyday life of a true believer. He's saying there's no legitimate separation between belief and behavior, that there's this unbreakable link between faith and practice, that one's deeds will either prove or disprove their claim to know God. And this behavior can be seen by having godly men serving as elders and pastors, that true Christian living will draw others to the gospel, that good works have an important place in the life of believers, and that doctrinal and moral error in the church must be dealt with. Those are all things that we are shown in Titus. Now, Paul is not preaching a works-based salvation. He's preaching that salvation produces godly living, that the gospel is not just salvation, but it's also transformation. I think the key question that Titus asks is, does my life reflect the transforming power of the gospel I profess to believe? So read through Titus this week and we'll dive into it this Sunday. See you then, and God bless.